InDesign. The first thing that we are going to do is create a new file. So over here on the left, you have this new file button. I want you to click on it. All the way over to the right, the first thing that we are going to do is under Units, we are going to click for the pull-down menu and change that to inches. As you can see, and yours is probably defaulted at 8.5 by 11. We are going to set up, this is where we set up our document. If you want multiple pages, for right now we're going to put one. Your facing pages is probably clicked. I'm going to have you unclick that for a moment. We will get into facing pages and spreads further on down the line. For right now, we're going to leave columns at 1. That is the default. For your margins, it's probably defaulted at 1-inch margins. I want you to set 1-inch margins, and don't worry about anything below here for this particular section. We will get to this, but further on down in the course. So you clicked the new button, 8.5 by 11 inches, uncheck facing pages, 1 page, don't worry about the columns, don't worry about the start number, and 1-inch margins, and we're going to hit create. The first thing we are going to do is set up our workspace so that we are all looking at the same interface. At the very top of your screen, locate the window pull-down menu and select workspace, and then go into digital publishing. What that is going to do, you probably clicked right into it. I'm actually going to reset my digital publishing space. So this is what your interface should look like. On the left side of your screen is the tool panel. In the handout that is uploaded to Blackboard and has your homework exercises and has written out instructions on how to perform different tasks, you will find a description about what each one does, and in your homework there is a video quickly demonstrating each tool. I'll be honest, there are several tools on this panel that I only touch to show what they do. I've never actually used them in real life. This week we're going to concentrate on the selection tool, the direct selection tool, the type tool, the shape tool, and your stroke and fill colors, or I should say for this lesson. I am going to, you probably have it all in a straight line like that. So the first thing I want you to do is locate just about halfway down your toolbar. I want you to locate your rectangle tool. Now, anytime you see these little tiny triangles in the corner of your tool, that means that there are other tools hidden underneath it. So if we click and hold on the corner of the rectangle tool, you will see that you have the options of your rectangle tool, the ellipse tool, or the polygon tool. For this purpose, we are just going to, or for right this second, we're going to leave it on the rectangle tool. And I want you to hover over your document and click, hold, and drag to draw a rectangle. Now I want you to do the same thing again, except before you click, I want you to press and hold down the Shift key. And notice when you press, hold, and drag, it lets you create a perfectly symmetrical shape. So in rectangles, and then you can let go of the mouse first, and then let go of the Shift key. with the ellipse, it lets you create perfect circles. And when you're in the polygon tool, it lets you create perfectly symmetrical triangles, stars, whatever you're going for. It would be easier if we add some color to these shapes to see what we're manipulating. Go up and click on the selection tool, which is this top triangle, the black triangle, and click on your top rectangle. We're just going to add some color to these shapes so that we can see how, when we maneuver them, they change. Directly up above, let's see, almost directly above the number 4, you have 2 squares. One square is a full white square with a red line through it, and one sort of looks like a picture frame with a line through it. This is the top, is your fill color, and the bottom is your stroke color. So the fill color is the color inside the shape, and the stroke color is, so I want you to click on the triangle or the pull down menu next to your fill color, and we're going to go with green. And I want you to click on the stroke color and we are going to go with black for now. Next to your fill color and your stroke color are the 1 point means that the stroke is 1 point width. If you click on the up arrow, you will see that the width of the stroke, or the point size of the stroke, increases. So the higher the number of your point size on your stroke, the thicker your stroke or frame will be. Underneath that, you have a different styles of stroke. So right now, primarily what you are going to use most of the time is a solid stroke. You have these decorative strokes underneath. Sometimes you use a dotted stroke. Often you would use a dashed stroke, for instance, if you're creating a coupon. But for the most part, you are going to be using the solid stroke. Just know that you have the option to use different stroke styles, but use them judiciously. Don't make it a habit. Usually the solid stroke is plenty to set off. You don't want the stroke to be the focal point. Typically, you want whatever is inside the box to be your focal point. So I am just going to zoom out. And I want you to, we still have the selection tool selected. And I just want you to click and hold and see that you can, one of the things that you can use the selection tool for is to drag, and you can resize a shape. If you hover in the corner, you get these 2 arrows, one going up and one going to the side, which lets you rotate the shape. I'm going to go up to here where it gives me what I rotated it, and I'm going to make it 0. Now I want you to click on the white triangle, which is the direct selection tool. What that does, I'm going to click on the corner. I'm going to click off of everything. Now I'm going to click on the corner and drag. That, the direct selection tools lets you manipulate anchor points. If we go to our shape tool, I want to go down to the ellipse. I want to hold and drag and draw a circle. Let's make it cyan so we can see what we're doing. We don't need a stroke. You'll notice that you have two white options. One says none, which means that it is transparent. There is the only, it's just the paper. The one that says paper is actually white, and I can show you the difference by holding. I'm going to make this magenta so that you can see it. So right now, the fill is set for paper, and if I put it over our rectangle shape, it's white. You can't see through it. If it's set for none, you can see the stroke, but you can see completely through the shape. So for instance, I also want you to notice, go back up and click the direct selection tool. If I click into the stroke, I can not only manipulate the anchor points of an ellipse, but each anchor point has these handles. If I click and drag on one of the handles, I can manipulate the curve and shape. If I drag it out, my shape gets longer. If I drag it in, my shape gets sharper. So you will be using both the direction and the selection and direct selection tools throughout your using InDesign. I can click and drag. One other tip I want to start you off with, especially for your homework. If you click and hold, go under the polygon tool. And then I want you to hover over your document and click your mouse once. That gives you this dialog box. Under the polygon settings, I want you to look at the number of sides. So 3, obviously that would give me a triangle. If let's make it 6 sides. And the star inset is kind of a curve. We'll do that in a moment. I'm going to click OK, and you have now this 6-sided shape. So anytime you can create shapes by simply clicking in, selecting how many sides you're looking for, clicking OK, and then once you have your shape, you can use your selection and direct selection tool. I'm going to get rid of this. Your select and direct select tool to resize and reshape your polygons. Next, we are going to go on to our text tool in the next video.